I'm Louise Blaine and you are watching Assassin's Central. I am joined by game director Ashraf Ismail from Assassin's Creed Origins, and today we're going to talk about the fact that we've realised Assassin's Creed Origins has a difficulty setting.
Yeah, it was in the demo that you played. You could have changed it. Actually, in her defense, and I'll say it, I think we were not very kind in the demo. I realize in hindsight now, I think we should have started 2 levels higher. You know, we're building a game that has naturally a lot more challenge in it, whether it's through stealth, through combat. There's definitely, we wanted more gameplay depth. And that means more challenging aspects to the game, bosses and so on. And for us to be able to deliver this experience to a more, let's say, mainstream audience, a larger audience, we have quite a huge fan base. There are a lot of people who play the game for different reasons. Some people play it for the historic context, some people for the narrative, some people for the gameplay. And what we felt was, by going deeper into the gameplay challenge of the game, we're feeding one part of the audience, but not others. And so it was a natural step for us to think, well, let's give difficulty settings so that if you're really more into the narrative, let's say, or the historic element, you can set the game to an easier setting, to easy, effectively. And it's a much smoother experience for that. It's not as challenging, definitely not as challenging. If you're the opposite, if you really want that very difficult challenge, you can set the game to a harder setting. And we do this on the fly, so we've seen situations where people have asked, you know, I want the game to stay as a normal, balanced difficulty, but I'm having difficulty with this boss or this moment, can I switch? So yes, we allow it to switch dynamically.
Okay, amazing.
So yes, for the first time in Assassin's Creed, we have difficulty settings.
So when it comes to what can, I take it, you take less damage from things like animal attacks, which I had quite a few amazing, I will say, animal attacks. What kind of things does it change in the world?
So definitely we play with things like the combat elements of stats, things like the rate of attack of animals. We kind of slow things down a little bit. It's definitely much meant, we don't turn off the combat. You know, you still will have to do whatever you run into. It's much easier to handle. So in terms of the stats, in terms of some behaviors, it's easier that way. And the reverse is true for hard. Stats are much more aggressive. There is a bigger curve of difficulty. Enemies are more aggressive themselves. So we play with a few settings.
Amazing. Thank you very much for that
My
hidden nugget
pleasure.
of information. You've been watching Assassin's Central. Remember, Assassins, nothing is true, everything is permitted.